What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we're here to just prepare for tomorrow, prepare for Sunday, talk about the state of play. There was so much, and it actually even beyond the state of play, there's been so much kind of happening behind the scenes. I've tried to write down just all these stories, of everything going on, and I don't think I'm going to be able to cover all of them, but we are here. And I think we had a great yesterday. Now, of course, my internet freaking died on me, so that wasn't very nice. But I actually thought the state of play ended very, very strongly at the second half, right when everything started to go freaking downhill. So I'm pretty pumped for tomorrow. I think Tomb Raider obviously is looking pretty darn likely on top of God of War and other things. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for tomorrow. And I think I'm like tripling down on the Xbox show. I know Nate the Hate has really provided a lot of hope and his predictions for Sunday, but I think Xbox is going to freaking kill it. Ad, what's going on, buddy? Real Kratos, hello. Thank you guys for rejoining. I know yesterday, it didn't go according to plan. Hopefully it goes according to plan literally right now, but you can never be too sure. You know what I mean? I've changed. I'm doing this through a different thing. I'll have to see like tomorrow if we can do this maybe instead of OBS. I also have a hard Ethernet connection this time, so this is about as good as my internet is going to provide me. So we'll see how that goes. Wolf Among Us 2. The sad thing. Here's the sad thing. All right, you want to know a depressing fact? So if we're gonna take Nate the Hate at his word, right? And I want to say it is tough because all of these things are so in flux, right? Because all these events are like 2 days apart. Something that one person hears that's going to happen, you're not guaranteed that it's going to happen at that show, right? So we originally heard Pragmata was going to be at Summer Game Fest, not the PlayStation event. So, I'm willing to bet that things that people are saying are going to happen, they are going to happen. It's just which show are they going to happen at, all right? So now the reason I say that is because Nate the Hate said Tomb Raider, 007 or Wolf Among Us at Summer Game Fest. Now, the issue is, which part do you want to take seriously? Because he was right. Like, we got 007, and there's an IO Interactive show that night, Friday night. So, okay, that's very close to Summer Game Fest, right? It's actually the day of, but it's not technically at Summer Game Fest. Then we got it at the PlayStation event, all right? So then it's like, all right, was that his game? Or now, do we have Wolf Among Us and Tomb Raider? Do we literally take it off the board and now we have those two as the two games that are left? Therefore, you have a 50-50 shot, of these games happening. Now, Amazon is going to Summer Game Fest. Telltale is not. So at least that we know of. So it's looking to me like it's Tomb Raider. My prediction, this is very sad for Wolf Among Us. My prediction is it's Tomb Raider or it's nothing. We actually don't get Tomb Raider, Wolf, or 007 at Summer Game Fest. And then the theory would be because all of these things were so in flux. That's kind of my opinion on that one. What are the rumors? Well, there we just go. That's not a phrase. There we go. So rumors being that Silent Hill 2 Born from a Wish, that's going to happen over the next couple days. I would not be shocked if that's at the Xbox show, to be quite honest with you. Hollow Knight is going, I think Nate the Hate said Hollow Knight's going to come out before the end of the summer. So that's freaking awesome. So we have to get it, tomorrow or Sunday, and we would get a release date, and it might be a release date in July or August. So that's that one. The Red Dead Redemption 2 next gen enhancement thing. That's one. And then not even a rumor, it's confirmed now. I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter. You can follow me there if you want. But the SpongeBob game, we got the name. I think it's Titans of the Tide. What's it called? Let me look. We got the name though. And it got rated, so it's coming out probably in the fall. Titans of the Tide. Yeah. Yep. So I think that's it. I think Nate the Hate expects that Final Fantasy 16 and Remake are going to be at the Xbox show. I don't know if that's a prediction or an expectation, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess, for now. RMX, what's going on? Oh, you're not late. I think you honestly were a minute in. Did they? Yeah, reloaded beta will be shadow dropped. Oh, man, that'd be freaking awesome, to play it with everybody. I'll definitely play it with you guys if you want to play it. But no, it's if you notice, PlayStation didn't really do that yesterday, right? I don't think they did when they showed that slide at the like it was a very sleek design. They've been doing it for a while, but when they would say PS5 and PC, then you knew that it was just isolated to those two. But I don't think they said many times or at all Xbox. So it's again, this console warrior type thing where like that's going to happen, but then Xbox is probably going to show the PlayStation logo. As we talked about last week, Xbox was pretty, salty, kind of, jabbing PlayStation last year where they did that graphic and they said, here's all the games also coming to Xbox. And then if they don't, Sway brought this up last week, so that's something. Oh, the Bond. I mean, I'm really excited. Does he look kind of like a Nathan Drake? He does, but I don't really care. I think that's like the main gripe against it, New Halo. Yeah, I think we could. I mean, Halo's never been too like when I think of like the slam dunk kind of games for the Xbox event. I don't think of Halo. Like I truly don't. So it's just not the first thing that pops to in my head. So, but I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, like bring it. You know what I mean? Bring it all. Scribbles, thank you very much. That's a nice avatar. So here's the thing. Irish. I liked the state of play. Okay. I did. I thought it was honestly one of the better ones they've done. Can Summer Game Fest beat it? I think pretty easily it can beat it. I mean, in all reality, okay, you're trying to beat Pragmata, Silent Hill F, Final Fantasy Tactics, Neo 3, the Bond game, and that Marvel fighting game. Those are like, to me, those are the big ones that you're trying to beat, And I mean, if you show Tomb Raider, that's a wash, for pick one of these, right? If you show God of War, which I think God of War is going to be at Summer Game Fest. If you show a new Switch game, by the way, you show a Fire Emblem game, or you show Metroid Prime gets a release date, those would be enormous. You can hope, but I wouldn't expect, just to be safe. I think, it's it. Square Enix is going. So now it's like, all right, well, what could they show? They already did Tactics. They could do Final Fantasy 9. Like, it could be the 9 remake, to be honest with you. I know I've seen people say, like, that's not going to happen. Maybe because of Tactics, you wouldn't show 9's remake or 7 Part 3. But, you know what I mean? I've seen that brought up. And I guess that's fair. Like, why, you just got eyes on Final Fantasy. It's specifically on Tactics. So you wouldn't want to do another Final Fantasy, but Square Enix is going. So what else could they show? They could show Kingdom Hearts. So I can see how you get there. I mean, I can see how it's logical. Do you see Microsoft and Halo Studios porting Halo 5? Yes, I do. All right. And Halo 5 has been that game, right, that people have heard stuff on. I'm not a big fan of Halo 5 specifically. I actually really like 4, and that's controversial, I think, in the Halo community. I really, really liked 4, but 5 I was not a big fan of. But, to get a Halo game, like it's surreal getting a Halo game on PlayStation. Honestly, maybe even more surreal getting a Halo game on Switch, like seeing in the tinier, box. So I do believe, I really think that's why PlayStation is going to Summer Game Fest. I think it's to show God of War. That would be my guess there. I think Perfect Dark was there last year, and they showed an okay amount, 3-4 minute trailer. I would not be surprised. Like last year we got State of Decay, Fable, Perfect Dark, right? Like that was 3 of like 26 games. I would not be shocked if we literally just did the exact same thing again. Fable maybe gets a date, State of Decay gets like something of substance, and then Perfect Dark got an okay amount. Maybe just show an okay amount again, and then say 2026 because it's probably coming out next year. You also have Gears of War E-Day, which is also probably going to be there. I mean, the Xbox show is going to be incredible. I believe. I don't know anything. No updates on Pirate 6. I check every other. I think I had a dream about Jack Sparrow, but no, I didn't see anything. The Alice Madness or Asylum, those are kind of like niche. They are pretty good in the algorithm. The Alice video I made on Back to the Past at the time was the best viewed video on that channel, and it stayed like that for like a year. So there's definitely people that I think are into. I've considered doing it because I did Madness Returns. I've wanted to do the first one, and I've wanted to do some sort of like look at the Asylum one. But I think YouTube likes that, to be honest with you. Superhero related, what's going on? How what's the word? How beat up are we that Wolverine wasn't at the PlayStation event? More Fable. Yeah. No, I honestly believe we're gonna get more Fable. We need to. We need to get more Fable. State of play was a bit dry. I mean, and I'll say I said it yesterday on the live stream. I said on Podcast Now Plus. I said it a few times. I respect that. Okay, I want to, we're here to talk to each other and all that stuff. Here's the thing. All right, I love so many different types of video games, and I feel like that gets put to the test, in every one of these shows, and I come out on top. As always, like I truly genuinely believe, like it's just what you're into. You know what I mean? Like if you're into these games, like yesterday was the greatest day on earth for like Maximilian, dude, right? Because of the Marvel game. Like that was enormous to millions of people, just not maybe. And I actually thought it looked awesome. Millions of people are going to be into that Marvel fighting game, and I probably will too, but I wouldn't consider myself a part of that group. Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a game for a good amount of people, and some people have made their entire year. A lot of people look at that game as like the best game ever created. Silent Hill F, I'm looking at the list. Pragmata, Bond. I think it just depends on what you're into. Again, did the PlayStation side of it, was that weak? Absolutely. I'm not here to dismiss that. I'm not here to tell you that that's wrong. PlayStation sucked. The Ghost of Yote thing was ridiculous. It was insane. Not having Wolverine is embarrassing. So I agree with that. Okay, I agree with the sentiment that the PlayStation exclusive side was pathetic. It was. The Marvel thing definitely helps though, because that's for a totally different audience that a lot of people I don't think give it credit for. But I would agree with that. But I think the third parties saved it, and made it a really, really good show. We've had other PlayStation State of Plays where they've also given us no first party stuff, and the third party stuff sucks. So I think this is but it's what you're into. If you're not a big Capcom person, then that, write that one off. If you're not into Silent Hill, okay, that doesn't do anything for you, right? And again, I get it. Like no intergalactic and stuff. But I mean, I wasn't expecting almost any of that. Wolverine. I wanted Wolverine. I wanted God of War. But God of War is probably going to be Friday. You know what I mean? So when it comes, that's just in case you guys didn't watch my video on Podcast Now Plus yesterday, which you should. But I mean, that's my stance, is that weak PlayStation show, but also like what else would you expect? And then the games that I did want, like Ghost of Yote, yeah, that was embarrassing, but we're getting a state of play in July specifically for it. So, did you have to do that as part of the show? No. In fact, you shouldn't have even done it at all. But I actually, I like that. I'm very excited. That state of play is going to freaking rock. So you have that. God of War, I think, is just going to be Friday. Resident Evil, yeah, people built that up, but nobody ever said Resident Evil 9 was going to appear. And we got Pragmata. So wash. For me, that's a wash. And what else? Ghost of Yote, Wolverine. Again, that's embarrassing. I'm not going to defend Insomniac. That's something that needs to be, solved. And then Marathon. Did anybody really want to see Marathon? You know what I mean? So, or Death Stranding. Everybody told me that they didn't want to see Death Stranding. So, from the PlayStation side, what were you really expecting to see? So that's my rant. And I think it's reasonable. I mean, I had some people coming in hard on me, yesterday. Being sick, I wish you the best. This is an okay time of year, though, to get sick, because I think you're going to get better rather quickly. And then, all that sunlight and stuff, Like, also after the Xbox show. Well, they've done it like 3 times. So what's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. Never give up on Sly. Okay. All right. There's still that belief. There's still those rumors that it's happening. Yeah, I don't know if I would ever say Death Stranding is a fun game. I don't know if fun comes to mind. It is an interesting game, and it is a game, but I don't know if I would ever say the word fun. I have my whole retrospective that you guys will see in a few weeks about. It's like 30 minutes long. I think I did a good job. Yeah, Pragmata, I think looks awesome. Man, it's tough. I think part 3 at the very least will be PlayStation and PC day one. That's what I just assuming. That's like it depends on how you look at it. Like, are you into the console exclusivity? I think like in terms of where it's going to appear on launch day, that is the least, is that PS5, PC. The most, like I definitely think Switch 2 makes sense. By that point, I think Remake and Rebirth will be on the Switch too, and probably also on Xbox. So that's the thing is like, take your pick. Like, do you? I feel like it being on the Switch 2 is more likely. Part 3, I think being on the Switch 2 is more likely than Xbox, but you never know. You never know what money Phil Spencer is going to pull out of the wallet and convince them. Well, that's the thing. And I'm also not arguing that either, right? Like, does it make sense to show God of War on Friday when you could have done it in your own show Wednesday? No, I'm not going to argue for that. I think that's a bad idea, but it's the idea that I'm going to choose that they made. You know what I mean? That's just one of my thoughts. And it is one of their big IPs, but it's such a niche spin-off game that maybe they don't expect it to be as big as or technically Summer Game Fest gets a lot of eyes. There's a lot of people that watch Summer Game Fest and arguably watch Summer Game Fest more than the State of Play. State of Plays are huge, but Summer Game Fest is pretty big. So it's honestly possible they get more eyes on God of War than they did on Pick Your Game, the Ghost of Yotei, fake announcement thing. Blood Rain. Oh, that's a good one. That's a deep cut. Yeah, they did already show Final Fantasy, but I'm just saying tactics. Yeah, I'm talking about the story. The multiplayer, I don't think I played almost any multiplayer for 4 or 5. I'm just talking about the story. I really liked the Cortana Chief connection in 4. I think that just spoke to me. I really liked that. So that's that. When I talk about 4, that's what I'm talking. I'm not really talking about the multiplayer. I think you're going to get one Ubisoft announcement, whether it's at Summer Game Fest or the Xbox show. Now, because Ubisoft is still scheduled to not appear at Summer Game Fest, I'm going to assume, my prediction, I'm going to make videos on my Summer Game Fest predictions and my Xbox predictions over the next 2 days. My prediction for Ubisoft is Xbox show, and it's the Black Flag remake. That's my stance. You can take your pick. Black Flag, Prince of Persia, Splinter Cell. You got 3 remakes. Pick which one you think will appear. I'm going to guess Assassin's Creed, and I'm going to guess specifically at the Xbox show. I think I could call it, if Sly 5 ever were to come out. I think I could retire and feel pretty good about that, What's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by. New 3D Mario gameplay. Yeah, I mean, it will happen. Will it happen at Summer Game Fest? I don't know. And Sonic Frontiers 2, I think there was a rumor there was a rumor, and then was it debunked? Because when that Cross Worlds, the racing thing came out, that game got like massively leaked, right? At the same time, I think a Frontiers 2 thing leaked, but then I think that one got debunked. So I think they already confirmed though that they're gonna keep going with Frontiers. So I definitely think it's gonna happen. I just don't know if that rumor was real and if they're ready to. Because the rumor was, I think it's coming out next November, like November 26th. Which lines? I mean, it's been years, right, since Frontiers 1. So Rise of Hydra can distract me from waiting on Wolverine. It definitely could. Definitely. I think you just need a superhero game, just one. They did use a lot of time. But again, it's a big deal. I really believe that game is a big deal. And I know that it's the same thing like when they take like 10 minutes to show off a COD thing. It's like, all right, do you really, like, truthfully, right? Somebody like me would say, do you really need to do that? And the answer is, yeah, to that audience, you need to do it. You know what I mean? When you're showing a big Apex Legends thing or Fortnite thing, like I look at it as wasted time, and I think, and that's the situation, we're seeing with other things. You look at it as wasted time, but then, again, you got to take a few steps back and say, the show is not just for me. It's not just for you. It's supposed to be, for a wide range of people. And, you know what I mean? And it's not to be mean. It's to be like, obviously they're trying to capture a lot of people. I think that Marvel fighting game is going to capture a huge separate audience, right? So to them, that is a big deal. And Arc System Works like to show off like why they were chosen and all that stuff. They're like the chosen ones, Any new hardware? No. That's a good question. I don't. I mean, the Switch 2 just came out. We have the Pro. Xbox is probably not. Well, the Xbox event, they could show, I think they will show that partnership with Asus, or however you say it, for the fall, that hand. Because remember, the Xbox handheld was canceled, right? That's the one that was coming out like 2 years from now, or a year and a half. That the third-party Xbox handheld is coming out, I think, this fall. And that one's not canceled. So that one definitely, I think, has to be, shown this week because it comes out maybe in like 4 months. There we go. There we go. Did anybody play the Neo beta or demo? Because I did not. I'm just gonna trust it. Crimson Desert gonna destroy. That's a big one and a slam dunk for tomorrow, my friend. Okay. It's tough. It's tough with Kingdom Hearts 4 and Marvel because I think they could do Avengers 1 because you probably want to keep it like factually. You can't have like 90 characters in just one world, right? It's not that important. So I don't think you do Infinity or Endgame. You probably do 1, like Avengers 1. Or you pick. I just feel like doing the Avengers, I think makes sense. You'd probably want a good group of it. Star Wars is easy. Like Star Wars, I think you just do Episode 4. To be honest with you, I think that's pretty simple. Yet again, in that trailer, if that was Endor, then you're doing 6, which I guess the idea of darkness becoming light, like Vader turning to the light. That's the theme. So I actually think that makes a lot of sense. So actually, let me take that back. I think Star Wars would be Episode 6 for Kingdom Hearts, and then Avengers, maybe just Avengers 1. Yeah, Silent Hill, I'm freaking pumped for. When does PlayStation Showcase usually arrive? Never. It usually arrives. I mean, it depends on the year. Back in September of 2020, they did a showcase. That's where they announced Hogwarts Legacy, amongst other things. Teased, I think, God of War Ragnarok at the end. The State of Play, I think. Did 2021 also do a showcase maybe? I think it did in September. That was Wolverine and a couple other things. So, like, they've done it. But, like, the last showcase was what? April or May of 2023, right? So it's been 2 years. So that one's tough. Nick, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, no, I'm not into marathon. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying. There you go. Well, number one, William, I appreciate it, buddy. And again, like different styles, and here's the thing: like people that are just into the fighting stuff, they're not into anything that appeared there, right? But then the Marvel thing maybe made their day or made that event. Like for me, like I could have called it after Silent Hill. Like Bond was awesome, like the ending I think was rather strong. But like I could have called it at Silent Hill F and said, "Oh my god, that's a game I'm super passionate about. Made all these videos, I'm into it." And it got a release date and it got gameplay done. Like I could turn off the event. Just different people. It's different people. I think I think you can settle on a middle ground of like the PlayStation stuff was very weak and they needed more of it. And I wouldn't disagree. Hopefully Summer Game Fest. If you can do God of War and you do one other thing, right? And then September you do another State of Play, but you got to come in hot. You got to show Saros. This Horizon multiplayer thing. Like, come on, get going. You got to show Wolverine. You gotta. I would say like you got to show 1 or 2 things on Friday. You do Ghost of Yote in July. You pray that Marathon doesn't fail in September and Ghost does really well in October. And then September's State of Play, you show like 3 or 4 upcoming. Maybe you re-show God of War one more time. And then you think about next year. You think about Wolverine. Wolverine needs to be 2026, right? So you got to think about, the future. And then hopefully eventually you're ready to show like Intergalactic again and the other Naughty Dog game and Santa Monica's game and Blue Point and Bend are, like they're not ready. So it's like you got to give them a few years, and that sucks because they're 2 studios, so and 2 big studios. The Ghost of Yote thing in the State of Play sucked. It's just Kojima coded. I did see. I made a video. I made a video on this channel 2 days ago. Yeah, about Spyro 4, and that's from Xtis1S. And I'm not. It's not like a correction to you. It's important to say his name. Say my name, Heisenberg. Because he's gotten like 3 things right just in the last 2 days. So this guy, and there's a lot of accusations that he like steals from people, which is not cool. But at this point, I don't really care. Like if he stole the Spyro 4 thing from somebody else, but he's right, that means that person's right, which means we're getting Spyro. So point being, the source that it comes from is not always good and very skeptical, on social media. But like literally the last couple of days, he's gotten everything right. So Spyro 4 at the Xbox show is looking like 90% likely to me right now. Like I'm almost expecting it at this point, to be honest with you. There should be a genre called, well, there is. It's just Kojima Productions, It's just his studio. AC Hexe. It's tough. Like Ubisoft has stuff. They got the multiplayer Assassin's Creed. They got Hexe. They got Black Flag. They got Splinter Cell. They got Prince of Persia. They got Far Cry 7. Like there's 6 right there, and Rainbow Six and all that other stuff that they do that I'm not too into. They got like legitimate things, and so they should do their own show, and they're not. They confirm they're not doing it, which sucks. New Lego game, yeah. I mean, we've heard it. Maybe Gamescom. Maybe we have to wait till Gamescom. Nicola, what's going on, buddy? Yes, because Jeff loves Hideo Kojima. I don't really care. It's not Game Awards. It's Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley is biased towards Kojima. I don't think he's maybe a little biased towards PlayStation. I know some people will go really extreme with that one. I don't really care. And then FromSoft, I don't know if he's biased towards FromSoft. He's shown off some of their stuff. He's shown Square Enix stuff. He's shown PlayStation stuff. He's showed the Xbox, the Series X, I believe. Like he's done Xbox things. Hellblade, he did the Xbox reveal. Can't really think of anything off the top of my head besides that, but yeah. They better show RE9. I think RE9 is tomorrow. I personally think RE9 is tomorrow. I do not think we see Wolverine tomorrow either. What do you think of the showcase of The Witcher 4? Yeah, so I loved it, okay? I think the number one thing I took away from that was that AI behavior. I think that freaking revolutionized. Well, it's hard to say because I'm like when you say it revolutionized, you're talking like past tense. It's the future. I don't really buy it until we get it in the game. This is a demo that was made very specifically for the state of Unreal. It's, it's built, what they say, like from the world of The Witcher 4, but it's not The Witcher 4. So this was hand picked and selected and crafted, for this presentation. So do I think it's going to hit 60 FPS on the base PS5 at launch? No. I think it will on something, whether it's the Pro or whether it's PS6. But I think this was just kind of showing the capabilities, And again, like the thing I took away was the updates to the Unreal Engine was the AI. Like that AI was I want to say unreal, unbelievable. Use a different word. I'm very excited for that. Because by the way, that's not just Witcher. They're doing unique stuff with the engine, but like that's something that anybody can do. So hopefully 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, Red Dead 3 is going to be like every AI is going to be like the most intelligent thing you've ever seen in your life, So it's like the potential for not just Witcher 4, but anything else is enormous. All right, so let's keep going. If I may ask, okay, make sure you guys leave a like to the video. Helps out, in the algorithm, and it helps the video afterwards. If you guys could do that. Like I said, tomorrow we're going live. I'll be live an hour before Summer Game Fest. We'll cover Summer Game Fest. And then Sunday is the Xbox event. I don't know if I'll be live an hour before the Xbox event, but I will be live. Like I'll cover it and I'll watch it. But I don't know if I'll be live an hour before. I like to sleep in on the weekends, but sometimes you have to not be selfish. First person shooter Smash Bros. Like game, which is a crossover between some of the most beloved FPS. Oh, I get that. That'd be interesting. Like an FPS All-Stars thing. That'd be something. How did it go, RMX, the stream of the State of Play? Did you enjoy it? All that matters is that you like doing it, Finished Stray a few days ago. Nice. New Rayman. That is a game that they're working on. It's just probably a little while away. Yeah. Stellar Blade 2 is going to have a very quick turnaround, but and it comes out on PC, on Wednesday, I think. So that's pretty cool. Sonic Unleashed. There has been rumors of Sonic Unleashed remake. I think remaster. So that would be fun. I actually really like Sonic Unleashed. I mean, that's maybe a hot take, but I'm not even that big into Sonic in general, like the games. But Sonic Unleashed, I actually think rocks. Directive 8020 is an interesting one because Supermassive is going. So we're either going to get Directive 8020 or Little Nightmares or both. Mafia 1943, Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero, I'm kind of up in the air. They did that world tour, and it's coming out probably next fall. So like we'll see. I don't know if it'll be there. Uh, so I think 10 out of 10. I think 100% chance that Persona 4 is at the Xbox show. As for Persona 6, I'm gonna say no, which is really sad because I really thought this could be the summer, but maybe the fall or like the Game Awards. Yeah, Alone in that studio shut down, I believe. So, or they fired everybody, which also means they shut down. So I don't think we're gonna get an Alone in the Dark 2 remake. Black Flag remake is probably the closest to be. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's exactly, honestly, that's my logic. Is that last year they showed Shadows, so they've done the Assassin's Creed thing. Ubisoft also likes to appear at other shows. They also are not going to, or they're not doing their own thing, and it's the closest to being done. Like all of those things combined, I think makes it pretty realistic. Yeah, that's tough. Like, I think Helldivers would do really well, on those other places. Specifically, I think the Switch 2. It would be really cool to see Helldivers 2 there. So I think there hopefully should be a desire from PlayStation to get it over there. It was a PS Studio game. Why wouldn't they put a lot of time into showing it? God of War, maybe you mean? I don't know what you mean for PK Ziggy. I don't know which game you're talking about. I'd like to see Clockwork Revolution. That's a good one. I don't even care that it's a rip-off, seemingly, BioShock Infinite. I love BioShock Infinite, so I will take it. Exactly, yeah. And that's what rationalized it in my head. It's like, okay, well, Pragmata's here. This is awesome. It's back. And then also that just means Resident Evil is at Summer Game Fest. Like, easy. I know there's a lot of thought out there that Elder Scrolls 6 will end the Xbox event. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Yeah, and a lot of games aren't for a lot of people. And I think that's why my channel struggles. It's why my channel struggles to keep up with the competition is because I cover too much stuff, right? And people that are into God of War are not into pick your, or people that are into Rematch, right? A game that comes out like next week are not into FBC Firebreak, which comes out 2 days earlier. They're not into Death Stranding 2. Like everybody, the people like me, not to put myself on a pedestal, people that play like 1,000 different games, okay? And I have some people that watch me that are into that, and they're awesome. But like that's so rare. It's unbelievably the minority. Like, it is. You might see people that are like that on social media, but that is not reality. Okay, reality is most people play like 2 to 4 games a year. That is flat out the reality that we live in. I hate that. I don't. I think that's discounting a lot of amazing games. That's why you have people that say there's no good games that come out. Yeah, there are disappointments and there are bad games that come out all the time. But I think oftentimes the people that say, oh, there's no good games out, those are people that are and it's okay. But those are people that are looking for just a couple, people that are into Hogwarts Legacy were only looking at Hogwarts Legacy, right? They didn't care that like 30 other games came out that, you know what I mean? So that's, and that's okay. That's what I kind of have realized in the last like 5 years. It took me a while. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own thing. And some people are just laser focused on, the default cliche ones are like Madden, Fortnite, FIFA, Call of Duty. In reality, though, there's people that are like that for other things too, right? They only play MMOs. They only play shooters. They only play whatever, they only play PlayStation exclusives. Like there are people that are into all these different kind of groups. Cozy games, tactical games, right? Final Fantasy, JRPGs. These people exist. They're actually the vast majority is the people that are only focused into one thing. And that's what these shows struggle with, is because they're trying to show a bunch of different stuff. So while I can make a list of like 8 things I liked about it, you could maybe make a list of 2 because you're only in, you know what I mean? It's just the different preferences. Not you specifically, Junkrat. I'm saying like anybody, I did see the SpongeBob thing. And I think it's actually, well, just because it got rated doesn't mean it's necessarily going to get shown in the next like 2 days, but I think it's very possible that it does, Double Fine, yep. Jedi Survive. I personally think it probably is too early, yeah. I mean, it's still probably like 2 years out. It's probably not too early, but like why do it right now, Yeah, no, they're going to use they'll use like the Marvel's Avengers cast, like Nolan North will be Tony Stark. Like it's not gonna be anybody from the movie. Wait even more patiently because they put Crisis 4 on ice, meaning that it's not canceled, but it's like never coming out. So I wouldn't wait for that anymore myself. I'd go back and play Crisis 3 if I were you. Yeah, I was saying that earlier, Tilo. It's pretty odd to do that. First person arena shooter. I don't know, probably never. And I'm okay with that. That's just my own personal bias, you know. Venom would be cool. Last Ronin. I I feel like now SpongeBob kind of takes over for the Last Ronin, and then I think you just got to do Wolverine before you do Venom. You know, Gabe Newell Yacht in California, same place Summer Game Fest is at. Well, California is pretty big. You know, could we get Half-Life 3? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Oh, I appreciate it, Junkratty. Yeah, I try to supply the hope for Sly 5. I'm always around for Sly Cooper content. And one day I'm going to do like heavy Sly, like go back, play all 4, retrospect. I want to do a whole, I've talked about this before. Like I want to do like a month's worth of content on Sly where like you get retrospectives on the 4 games and then like ranking, not just ranking the games, but also like ranking the bosses or ranking the levels, the areas. I've got a lot of Sly ideas that I've just never done. I've always wanted a AAA TMNT game too. We kind of have had them, but I mean they're hit or miss. Yeah, and I think that's the goal for Wolverine, right? Is like when we see it next, it's gotta. I think when we see Wolverine next, it's got to come out within a year. It's got to come out within a year. Um, so hopefully, and and then we have to have Pain because it's probably not coming out till like next fall at the earliest. So then maybe this fall, or like next spring. Snake Eyes gameplay, yeah, that'd be pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, like I was saying, Extus 1S, just there's some speculation about him, but we don't have to go too deep into that. Rescue Squad Culp, what's going on, buddy? I hope so too. But the pillars of WB of what they want to do, Wonder Woman is not included in that, so I would not hold my breath for it. But yeah. Arkham Asylum remake announcement. I think it's too early. Lego. Yeah, Lego at Gamescom I think does make sense. Parker, I have an idea. If you don't want speculation or rumors for things that are going to be in the next couple of days, don't go on the internet. I follow Critical Overlord when it comes to that. He's pretty aggressive with that stuff, but I actually highly respect it. If you're not into spoilers, you're putting yourself at risk by going online in the first place. Take some personal responsibility and just don't do it, Yeah. When is Summer Game Fest? Tomorrow. Tomorrow at I think it's 2 p.m. Pacific. So 2 and 5. I'm pretty sure it's the same time that the State of Play was. Let me look up to make sure though. I'll be live an hour before. I'm on his website. He's got a cool little I don't like that. 1 day, 8 hours. That's not right. That's not right. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's the exact same time as the State of Play was. So 3 o'clock for me, 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Kind of right in the middle of the day. Now, the difference is Summer Game Fest is normally about an hour and a half, hour 45. And the State of Play is only 45 minutes. So it's about an hour longer than the State of Play was. I think they're going to go after the Arkham series just as like a safe. I don't know if it's a good. I think it's the right idea for them. I don't know if it's like the best idea. Should I trust CD Projekt? I wouldn't trust them until Witcher comes out and like day one, it's working. There's no game crashes. They don't lie to people. Reviewers don't lie to you. This is the chance for like young Yat to really like redeem himself. People like that. This is Witcher 4 is the chance to do it. So to answer Nick's question, I think hopefully the answer is no. They can't do that again. They really can't do that again. Well, they say that they're still going to do the EA Marvel stuff. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they're thinking like Iron Man 1 and 2, like make 2 Iron Man games and then make like I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just focused on like what we have, because people are going to that third game and saying, all right, well, like, what is that third game? Is it in danger? For now, let's just focus on Iron Man and just like make sure that gets out the door. It is wild that PS5 it's approaching 5 years in November. Yeah. I mean, I can appreciate it when studios do their own engines, but that takes a whole team, that takes a lot of money. But I appreciate it because, like you said, it's not then everybody's in Unreal. And because Unreal is tough. Unreal is like an interesting thing. I think it can be used very, very well. It's going to take a lot of time. Yeah, normally they show RE games in the summer and at a PlayStation event. Sometimes they've shown, I think, in January or February. Like I remember there was a state of play. I think RE3 was maybe not announced in the summer, but yeah, I think it's happening tomorrow. Well, there you go. That's all that matters, RMX. Really, no Fable at the Xbox showcase. Well, and that's a thought, He's got predictions and then he's got what he knows, and those are two separate things. So hopefully that's wrong, I got Stellar Blade for my birthday. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, the final gauntlet of bosses in Stellar Blade really puts you to the test. Really puts you to the test. The Indian, I don't know. Like Black Myth was kind of just like I think it was just the right marriage of like the culture, you know what I mean? Like the style and what something like that would be. And then marrying it to a gameplay style that's really, it's not oversaturated yet, but it's like getting there. You know what I mean? Like everybody's into it, but when you can nail it and you can marry those two, you know what I mean? That's you have your own spin on the combat. I think the combat in Black Myth is so freaking good and unique. And then you also have that Chinese culture. So really, like almost you could just steal that and do it for any culture, not just Indian. You could do it for any culture you want. You just have to then marry it, with you could do a Metroidvania or Metroidvania type game. You could do a shooter. You just got to pick. You got to pick a style that's popular. New Crash, I wish, but I think we're getting Spyro, and I'm okay with that. That's a good question. Thank you for the question. Any new games any particular games you're looking forward to being announced, remastered, or new? So to see Persona 4 remake, I think will be really cool. So games getting announced. I mean, I think to see what this God of War game is going to actually look like you can. I've imagined it. And it looks really cool in my head, but I need to see it. So like those two, Persona, God of War, being announced. I'd like to see the SpongeBob game. Now I kind of want to see what it's about. What else? I mean, like to see Born from a Wish if they do the Silent Hill 2 thing. I'm trying to think of games that like aren't officially, official companies. Like Xbox's show, I think is going to be like Gears of War. I'd be really excited for Perfect Dark, Summer Game, or like RE9. Like RE9 is probably my number one, but I almost classify that separately, right? Because I kind of almost assume it was there. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I know I'm always so behind. I'm like 10 minutes behind in the chat. That doesn't help. So I apologize for that. I think Corey, Game Awards might be a good time to do that. To be honest, I'm trying to think like, okay, soon, do it soon. State of Play, I just don't think is realistic because why would PlayStation do it? They don't do anything. So I've given up, So I think Game Awards, honestly, that would be a really big reveal. Crash 4, yeah. Crash Force Platinum is an interesting one, but definitely that replayability is interesting compared to, and I didn't grow up on it. I think that kind of hurts it to me too. I appreciate it, Andrew. Thank you. I try to, I think I kind of just do it naturally. I have and again, I think it stems from just my love of games. I'm not looking for, which is okay. Again, it's okay, but I'm not looking for like one or two games. I'm not looking to start battles and wars, on social media. I just like playing games. But I think I try to be honest. I'm not. I think there's people that are so like almost toxically positive that they can't say anything negative, and sometimes there's like reasons behind that, but I don't think I'm like that. I think I'm pretty hard on like Mind's Eye and games that really upset me, but I try to Like, I'm replaying The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm really trying to, like, give it my attention and, try to, like, play it how it wants and just kinda connect to it. Death Stranding, like, I don't know. That's kinda how I'm and then I just don't really care about the games I don't care about, you know? Like, when a game comes out that I'm not into, I just skip it, and that's it. Nintendo announces Wii U 2.0. There we go. I think Pragmata could do really well, to be honest with you. Um, they want it to be a new pillar of they did that on their website. They talked about Pragmata a couple of years ago. I made a video on it, and they talk about it that they want Pragmata to be a flagship IP with the likes of Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, etc. They want Pragmata to be like that. So they want it to be big. Fighting games are pretty tough for me, although I love All Stars. I love All Stars Battle Royale so much. Not into sports games. Do you see game and hardware prices tripling? Man, definitely not games. Games can't quadruple or triple. I don't think games would max out beyond like 80 or 90 without seriously like jeopardizing the entire industry. Consoles, yeah, I would not be surprised if the next gen consoles are like $800, which is, you think about how bad the PS3 was at launch because of that price, and then you think about how this is just the new normal. But I would not be shocked. Like, realistically, you're not getting the PS6 and next Xbox under 600 is not going to happen. It's going to at least be 599. I think it's probably going to be like 699 or higher, to be honest with you. And that's terrible. That's awful. I mean, what are you going to do? You could buy it or not buy it. That's literally your options, right? That's it. Exactly. And oftentimes, the being picky on a game is not even necessarily like personal taste. This is everybody. I mean, I did it too. And I don't have a lot of money now either. I try to be smart with which games I pick now. When you're growing up and stuff, you get games on like your birthday and Christmas. And that's what I did, for years. Even when I got the PS3, I bought it with my own money, and I bought it like 2 weeks before my birthday. So I got a couple games, but I had like Batman Arkham, I had Prototype, Motorstorm, Resistance. I think those may be the only 4 PS3 games I had from June of 2009 to that Christmas. And then that Christmas, I got like 7 or 8 games. And that's it. That my entire Christmas when I was 13 years old was, I think, 7 games. I got like Uncharted 1, Infamous maybe, but I just got a handful of games. And that was it. And then I didn't get games again until my 14th birthday. That's people's lives, and still to this day, people are busy. People don't have the time. Like, it's my number one hobby, right? Like, if I did something else as my number one hobby, I wouldn't even have time to play games. So why would I buy 40 games a year, right? It's money. It's money when you're young, and it's time when you're older, because I'm not that old. I want Titanfall 3 as well. Marvel for sure is, I think, going to be in Kingdom Hearts. There you go. I think that's the right way of looking at it. There's nothing I'm desperately waiting for. Yeah. Even in the fall, like, there's nothing that, like, I'm really excited for Metal Gear or Lost Soul Aside or Death Stranding. Death Stranding 2 is probably the game like I'm most like I'm waiting for, like anxiously waiting for. I don't know how many games in the fall I'm like pacing back and forth, thinking about. I'm going to get a lot of games in the fall. I just don't, know how many games are going to change my life. Oh, Octopath Traveler 3. That's kind of I don't think Square Enix is there to do that, but that's an interesting one. Compared to Batman Arkham, Spider-Man Combat is extremely repetitive and gets boring. Batman Arkham, for me, remains as the best superhero game. Maybe Spider-Man 1. I mean, I remember really liking the combat of Spider-Man 2, but I've never like directly tried to compare them in my head. I think there's something very special to the Arkham free flow. So I would agree kind of there. Yeah, it's very possible that Activision and Microsoft do the old games at their show. So I'm kind of hoping on that. KOTOR remake. I thought I legitimately was starting to buy into the hope for yesterday, and so I'm not thinking very highly of the KOTOR remake. Yeah, I'm definitely at some point I'm gonna do a lot of Sly stuff. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm not leaving the internet until I do these Sly ideas. Evil Within 3 possible. Well, Microsoft relinquished it. I don't think they relinquished the Evil Within franchise, though. So that would actually be pretty tough they'd have to get the Evil Within franchise first. So I would say no. I think you get Hi-Fi Rush 2 before you get Evil Within 3. Soul Calibur. See, I don't know much about Tekken, Street Fighter, I remember playing Soul Calibur at a friend's house and just thinking it was so different. So I don't know much about it, but I'll always take a new game of that for sure. We do need the last Ronin game. Very excited for Stellar Blade 2 alongside Witcher 4. Yeah, there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games coming out. Yep. The Red Dead 2 thing, I wouldn't be shocked if that's at Summer Game Fest. Do we see? Oh, I mean, I would love like Reach is so good. I would like it to be, I'd like the Halo games to be remade. Those would be cool. Safe, easy to do. Oh man, it's at 11 o'clock in Europe. That's rough. Yeah, there's been a lot of games rumored for remakes. Hope we get Gears of War Reloaded gameplay. I think that could happen at the Xbox event. Halo for PlayStation. If they announce a new Halo thing, even if it's a remake, I could see them just saying it's also for PlayStation. A shadow drop would be excellent. Yeah, I mean, we got 2 demos yesterday as a shadow drop for PlayStation, which I was not expecting, Last Ronin is so perfect for a game. The comic flows so well. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think as long as they can handle it, they're kind of switching like types of games, but I think they can do it. Yeah, and I think yesterday was a good indication that there was no live server. There was a multiplayer game yesterday, right? That choice-based C type thing, which looked cool. But no real live service thing that was shown yesterday. Yeah, it is pretty rough for Black Panther to go down with the ship like that. The Arkham games really, yeah, I agree. I don't think the Arkham games really need to be remade. I just think from Rocksteady, it's a safe option to kind of start a rebound, and then build from it. That's how I look at it. Build from Suicide Squad. How do you do that? Go to something very safe, which is Arkham Asylum. Well, you could argue it's not safe, but I mean, if you do it right, it's very safe. Make you a lot of money. It's not going to take you 10 years. You have a blueprint. Just don't deviate from it. All that. Okay. Nail it. Now do something new. Make another Batman. Make another superhero. Use a remake as a building stone, even for confidence. These people have brains, at least you hope so. And, you want them to feel good about what they're doing. So that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, I hear a lot of people that go back to the Arkham games, to be honest with you. Iron Man. Well, we're getting an Iron Man. Naughty Dog's second project reveal. One day. So I'm right now I'm playing Last of Us Part 2. I just beat Death Stranding. What an adventure! And I'm gonna do it. I have a retrospective ready on Back to the Past. If you guys aren't subscribed there, please do. Podcast now, Back to the Past. Death Stranding video is ready to go. And then right now, I'm going through The Last of Us Part 2. I'm on day 2 in Seattle as Ellie. And it's interesting. I actually have a lot to say so far, even, but I'm doing that. And then I think I'm going to do Pokemon Emerald, and then probably going to play FBC Firebreak, right? FBC Firebreak is the 17th, and then rematch is the 19th. I'll probably pop in, play a couple matches each day, leave. So those are the 2 new games. Death Stranding 2, I'll get that immediately. And in fact, I'm probably going to do the early access, the deluxe edition. And then, those are the new games. And then old games, Last of Us, Pokemon, Emerald, and then GTA 4. I'm going to do GTA 4, and then a couple others. So this summer, I'm going to really try to rebeat a lot of games. Hopefully we get a Superman game. I agree. I don't understand. New proper Banjo. Yeah. I think Toys for Bob is going to make Spyro 4 and then do Banjo. That's how I think we get Banjo back. The new God of War, like the next main installment God of War could very well be Egypt, but the Metroidvania is the Greece of that, What we really need is a bearded 40 to 50-year-old Leon, and we're gonna get it. Where I think it's gonna be really cool to just see visually what he looks like, in 2025. I think that's gonna be freaking awesome. Origins remaster is a good one. This is just a hangout. I mean, I say it preparing for Summer Game Fest and Xbox show. Atreus. I don't think we're gonna get an Atreus God of War game. I think that might have been the plan, but it's not. I don't think it is anymore. Devil May Cry. Well, there's nobody asked me about Devil May Cry. I would play. I mean, give me a new Devil May Cry. Absolutely. I do think a new God of War game gets announced this week. I will try my best to. I mean, I don't control. Like, I don't press a button that tells my computer to purposely lag out. So the comment's kind of weird because what am I supposed to? If I had a button that could unlag or unfreeze, don't you think I would have pressed that button yesterday? So yeah, Uncle Phil Spencer, Halo Infinite on PS5 would be great. I kind of want to go back to playing Halo Infinite again. Okay. I'll skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, I think the Xbox show is going to be pretty sweet. Summer Game Fest is normally like 2-ish hours, slightly less. New Smash Bros. I do think we get one, but I don't think it's for a while. I think best you can hope for Nintendo is a new Mario, 3D Mario game for the fall, Metroid Prime release date, Fire Emblem remake, and then the things like Zelda. There's always more games to remake or remaster, but like Zelda, Animal Crossing, Smash, games like that, 2026, 2027, right? That's kind of where you hope for those. But I think, to keep it condensed, I think just give me a Metroid Prime date, because I'll get that day one. I don't understand why anybody doesn't make a Metroid or a Batman Beyond game. Game Awards, I think, is longer. Pretty sure Game Awards is Jeff's longest show. I don't think Summer Game Fest will be good for Sony. Why would they save it all for Jeff? Well, like I said, I don't think they're saving it all. I think they're saving like 1 or 2 announcements. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to give Jeff 5-6 games to announce from a company. And I don't think he would take it either. Like, it's only going to be God of War, and maybe you get one other thing if you're lucky. GTA 4. See, well, remember, again, like there's the remaster of GTA 4 and there's the port of GTA 4, like what they did with Red Dead. The port is supposed to come this fall. The remaster is rumored for after GTA 6. So I don't think we're getting that remaster for a long time. No way. Mind's Eye review is out. No, don't do it. Don't tell me that. I gotta look now. I gotta look. Metacritic. If you guys are liking this, by the way, please leave the video a like, or the stream a like. It would mean a lot to me. Let's look. Oh, I don't see anything on Metacritic. Has somebody posted it on Twitter? I gotta look. I mean, like we have to check out Mind's Eye here. Do a quick scroll. Oh my God, Orlando Bloom would like to come back for Pirates 6. Are you out of your mind? What are we doing? Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna ignore that for a second. Crash 4, by the way, going on Game Pass is pretty freaking big. Let's see. I don't see anything on Mind's Eye. No, I don't see anything on Mind's Eye. Maybe it's shielded from maybe I'm such a hater. I don't know. I'm very glad that Mind's Eye was not in State of Play. Yeah, more Astrobot, always good to see. You always love to see it. Ember Lab, I looked up Ember Lab, no joke, like 2 days ago. I Googled them and just was seeing there was an interview from them back in 2023 in the summer, I think, that they were working on a game, still are. So I think eventually we see something from them, but maybe not yet. Really excited for Silent Hill F, and then the new Digimon game looked really cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know really what to say to that. I'm neither. I think I don't know. To be a console warrior in 2025 is an interesting choice. To have a preference is not. Okay, to have a preference, everybody has a preference. Everybody kind of gravitates towards something. So I'm not saying that. But to literally like hate, because no company even really likes you. So to think like PlayStation are gods, Xbox are gods. Like look, the people who make the games are pretty cool, right? They're the ones who gave us our favorite games ever. But like the companies themselves are oftentimes evil and just not very good, you know? So, yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't know why people are so indebted to these companies nowadays. And then like console warriors are kind of or like the act of the war is kind of breaking down because all these games aren't even exclusive anymore. Real, Nintendo does it and PlayStation sometimes does it, but that's it. So I don't know. I don't play that game. I think it's a waste of time personally to do that. Pragmata was originally announced back in June of 2020, if that's what you're asking. It was announced 5 years ago. The Wii U flopped very hard, yeah. Last of Us Part 2 is just as bad as Season 2 of the live-action series. I didn't watch... I've watched clips of the show. From what I have seen, the butchering of Ellie was kind of embarrassing for the show. I don't know. I'll save my... I got a lot to say on the game upon replaying it that we'll get to. Switch 2 is a scam. I don't know if it's a scam. There's a lot of scummy behavior with it, but I don't know if there's a scam going on. Yeah, I think and I think that's what companies want, is for the gaming industry to kind of blow up in places that it hasn't blown up, because you have people that you can reach now, right? Oh no, you're gonna confuse me with names or with letters. I'm up for any classic JRPG. A revival of Scale. I do think Scalebound will come back because of that, where the director said like, "Hey, get Phil to like come at me or to like contact me." So I do think that's actually pretty possible. Nintendo, I think, knows why they just drop it off during this. No, I don't think there was any like thing like that. I mean, they delayed it originally, right? Or they delayed the pre-order. No, I think they know they do stupid stuff and they do it anyway because they can get away with it. I mean, that's what I think about that. What are your thoughts on PC games forcing ray tracing? I don't know much about that, but just general, I don't like being forced anything. So if you're going to force that, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah, no, I think the Xbox show is going to rock. I mean, I've been saying that for a while. I'd love a new prototype game. I would too. I would too. I don't understand. Sure, I understand. Sometimes this or that person can be ridiculous saying this or that lies about a game or games that are really bad. In your case, if you don't like something, you're just saying it. Oh, okay. I just had to read it out loud. Yeah. I don't like. I've never. It's funny when people say like, because I've only got a few times in my entire life and career here, when I get called like a Sony fanboy or like paid. Like, I don't make a lot of money. In fact, I make less than, I don't make a lot. And I've also never been paid a cent from anything. Literally, I've been sent like a free light bar, like lights that go like on top of your monitor. I was sent that like 6 years ago. That was not, I didn't get money. I just got it. I've never been paid for nothing, so I don't know, I don't know what people think. But I think it's stupid if people think that. But yeah, I mean, I'm literally just speaking my mind. You can not like what I say, but I mean, it's just coming from my opinion. That's all it is. I do not think no, I think GTA 6 is holding off by NASCAR and that. Oh wow, yeah, I don't even recognize NASCAR racing games. I can respect Forza and Gran Turismo. I just don't really play them. New Deadpool game, that'd be fun. I want Infamous. Yeah, I want Infamous too. 007 didn't wow. I mean, they're different. They're different type of games. I was wowed. I was wowed by 007 personally. Yeah, I mean, it's like Hitman. That's my comp. Oh my god, nice. By the Miles Morales. Very cool. Very cool. I've gotten a lot of Uncharted games and Last of Us signed by Nolan North and Troy Baker. That's like my big flex, I'd like anybody from Final Fantasy to come to an expo near me so that I can have them sign. I think I have Remake. I don't have Rebirth physically. See, I got to get that. But I do have Remake, and I have the original 7. So, yeah. Oh yeah, MGS3. That's a good one. I'm very excited for that. KOTOR. Oh man, I hope. Elder Scrolls 6. I mentioned that earlier. I think there's definitely thoughts about Elder Scrolls 6. Um. Oh yeah. Jesse. Yeah, but that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that derives from the free flow. Um, I'm just trying to because we're running out of time, so I'm just trying to skip ahead to any like specific question. Is there a game you want to happen that you don't think will happen? Well, of course, there's like the Sly and Scream and Pirates of the Caribbean type games. But games that I think maybe are realistic that I also think won't show up. Huh. Games that are realistic, but also I don't think are going to be there. I mean, Wolf Among Us should be realistic, right? It's been enough time. Um, a game like Wolverine would be realistic, but it's not going to be there. Like I really just think it's going to be tomorrow for PlayStation. I think it's just going to be God of War. Okay. Okay. Do you think we'll see the next Metro game this week? It's been rumored for so long, so long. So hopefully, but I would bet against it until it actually happens. A Days Gone too. I don't know. I think it's been way too early. Will RE9 be exclusive? No. No, no, no. King's Quest. I think it's very possible both 16 and 7 remake are shadow dropped with Xbox. Yeah, I do think that. No joke. Do you see a game adaptation of Final Destination? I thought about this last night. Last night, I thought about Scream, and I thought, why don't they ever do a Final Destination game? And then because the movie did so well, I wonder if that's something. I literally just thought of that yesterday at night. So I could see it. I mean, it's a popular franchise. Took me 33 or 34 hours to do Death Stranding. And Death Stranding 2 is going to be like triple the time. Pokemon. Yeah, I'm excited to go into Pokemon Emerald. I'm behind too. Remake of the original Lego Racers. Don't forget about Indiana Jones. Like coming to PlayStation. They already came to like DLC for Indy. Yeah, that's possible. In fact, actually, that's very possible. Yeah, there you go. That would have reminded me right there. I'm very close to beating it, and we're supposed to get it. I think the music of Expedition 33 to me is a lot better, but that's just my opinion. I think Expedition 33 soundtrack is my favorite of the year so far. Death Stranding 2's could beat it because Death Stranding 1 I think has a really good soundtrack. But that's probably like what else could beat, you know what I mean? The fall. Ghost of Yote, maybe? What this year? This summer I'm gonna beat Jedi Fallen Order, Rise of the Ronin, and hopefully Stellar Blade. Nice. Well, first let's let Toys for Bob do Spyro, and then we can move on from there. All right, we're gonna skip. Do you think we'll get more Marvel games? There's talks of a dead. I mean, like these VR games are kind of coming out of nowhere, right? Like we just got Thief VR. Who would have predicted that one? I think that's possible. We're definitely gonna get more Marvel games. It's just certain companies are pulling out. Jedi Order came out like long ago. Fallen Order did, but not Survivor. The stream just died. I talked about it earlier in this stream. You can check that out. The internet was not working with me yesterday. Okay. If they ever delist GTA 4 from yeah, I hope not. I have it on PS3, and I might do that, but I don't know. Hoping for third Jedi Order. Check YouTube. There's a YouTube video saying, well, YouTube videos say a lot of things, I don't think Venom because I think Wolverine has to happen. I do think Astro 100%. I think Astro comes to PC. Absolutely. Think gaming is finally getting better for was that a question or like a statement? I think we're gonna see in the next couple years that we're gonna get like the best of the generation. It's gonna just come in hot at the end. It's just that we had to suffer in the beginning, you know. The new Digimon game looks pretty good. My predictions. Well, I'll do a video. I'll have a video. That's what I'm actually gonna do later. There'll be a video specifically that I'm gonna talk about that. Asmik, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that hated on it, and then like other people liked it. I don't know. I don't know. Skip, skip, skip. I've almost caught. Actually, no, I'm not even close to catching up. Oh my god. Oh, Ruby is a web series that started off small but then became a huge hit. Interesting. I will check it out. I will check it out. It's not Kingdom Hearts 4. If it's not Kingdom Hearts 4, then I'm actually going to double down on an FF9 remake, to be honest with you. Then I would just do that. Oh, nice. Oh my god. That's the I want to say the trio, but whatever the fourth thing would you say? That's awesome. I did get a Switch too. The issue is, and I've seen this online, it's not just us. Target is incredibly scummy. I've seen with other people, they keep putting like pending like money takeout on their accounts. And so they're not Nintendo, Target is holding like $500 hostage from people on their bank accounts, processing it and then putting it back in and then taking it out a few days later and then putting it back in. And I have seen that on ours too, but also on people online. And then on ours, I think we're going to get it on Tuesday. It's supposed to arrive on Tuesday. And I have seen other people post on social media that they're not getting it till next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Target, we got in and I guess we get it. And, other people didn't get it. So I guess we won that. But then, it's going to come, 4 or 5 days late. But yeah, I am getting the Switch 2 and Mario Kart with it. So when I get it, I'll do videos on Mario Kart. It'll be late. So, I'm not expecting much, but we'll do a live stream. Definitely do a live stream on Mario Kart when things settle down. Maybe next Friday, honestly, we can do a Mario Kart stream. So, a new Ben 10 game. Asking for Elder Scrolls 6 is like me asking for Spider-Man 3. It ain't going to happen. I think it actually has more of a shot than Spider-Man 3, but yeah. No. Yeah, I have not watched the new Final Destination, but could you see a Final Fantasy 13 trilogy on Modern Oh, I'd love that. I love the Lightning games. I really like Lightning. So I have all 3 of them, and I would love that. I think FF9 though would make sense though. I cannot express I'm with you. I'm with you. I got some theories that I want to make some videos on for Death Stranding 2. I haven't had time because we've been all this other stuff going on, but I'm unbelievably excited for that. Resident Evil 9, I do think is tomorrow. I really believe that. Have you played first expansion? I have not. I gotta hopefully this summer at some point. I gotta try Kingdom Come to go through it because I've played it and I really like it. But I agree with you. I really like the Marvel game that was shown yesterday. Asm's opinion about as valid as his personal hygiene. He's got some okay takes, but the hygiene stuff, holy Jesus. State of Decay 3, I really hope happens. I think it kind of needs to. Overture maybe has a soundtrack that I have to play that then because I love the soundtrack of. Oh, we caught up. Sweet. I just had to skip everything. There wasn't there a rumor about Skylanders? I think so. Red Dead. Oh my god, you got a lot of games autographed. You got a lot of conventions that are near you. Do you live in like Texas or something? Just come to Denmark. We have a lot of Switch 2 in stock. Well, I'll fly there, get it, come back, and maybe I'll do it by Tuesday. Oh, an RE demo would be rad. That'd be pretty sweet. If we get Resident Evil 9 reveal, I'd like to play as Claire Redfield. Yeah. Well, we know it's Leon and then somebody else, right? How do you find time to play all the games? I just play them like it's my main hobby, like I said. So when I'm not busy, family, chores, work, things like that, then I play games. And I just play them. And sometimes I get distracted and then I get mad at myself where it's like, okay, you got to get through. I'm really taking my time with Last of Us Part 2. I'm like exploring every building. I'm also playing it on hard. So I'm trying to be more like deliberate. And I'm like, I've played the game like 7 hours and I'm only like 4 or 5 hours in to like other people's walkthroughs when they're rushing, but I'm not rushing. So it's like, but some games I do just go more straightforward. Like Death Stranding, I did a lot of side deliveries, but I didn't do all of them. And eventually I kind of just did the main stuff. Death Stranding 2, I'll kind of do a mix. I'll try the side stuff and then I also won't. Yeah, I just like play, but I've also played games like my whole life, and I got more and more into it as I got older. So I have a pretty good history of just, and I'm also, like I said, back an hour ago, I'm very willing to just try things. So if it's a game that I've never played before, I didn't play any of the Yakuza games before 2 years ago. I've played all of the main installment and a lot of this. The only Yakuza games I haven't played is Judgment, Lost Judgment, and then Ishin and Dead Souls. That's it. Those 4. I played 11 Yakuza games in 2 years. So it's like, I don't know. I wanted to play them. Yakuza 0 is a masterpiece, and then I just played 11 of them, and that's it. That's the end of the story, And I stopped doing chores. Cosmic Invasion at Summer Game Fest. Is that a game? Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I mean, just give me more Marvel stuff because the fighting game looked awesome. Resident Evil 9 is probably my number 1. Persona 4, God of War. Those would probably be my top 3. I mean, those are the 3 I always say out loud, right? So I think that those kind of have to be, and those are realistic. And new Tales game. See, Tales is a franchise I have not played, not a single game. So that's one, just like Yakuza. I need to just get in there. Tales and Trails, both of those, which I'm been told that they're 2 different franchises. I wish I know that. I got to play both those franchises. I know they're long games and there's like 10 games in each, so that's fun. Star Ocean. I did play the second story R, but not a lot. Star Ocean's another one. I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming to Summer Game Fest. God bless you. I hope you're right. There is too much stuff to play. There is too much. Oh, in the UK. Okay. All right. That's sweet. Kara from Detroit Become Human. That's awesome. I don't know what Capcom has against Claire. Really don't understand that. Yeah. Maddie is more into Sly than I gave him credit for years ago. I just want to talk to him one day. KOTOR remake, I'm right there with him. And yeah, he's a big Sly guy. I think me and him would get along quite well if Sly 5 ever happened. I said Death Stranding 1 took me 33 hours. Only Kingdom Hearts 4, Persona 6 can top Fighting Souls. Project Sentry. Oh, that's a great one. I'm so excited for Project Sentry. Captain Marvel game. I don't know about that one, but maybe. A cosplay stream. For Halloween 6 years ago, I went as Negan and I had a leather coat and I had the bat and I don't think I did anything with my hair, but I dressed up. Yeah, I'm not big into cosplay, but I've done Negan before. That's kind of it. God bless, because there's a lot of Resident Evil games if you don't know. Telltale's The Walking Dead is so good. Oh, I know, Nerdy Giant. I know you're into him. It's because of him, by the way, that that I know that Trails and Tales, and I know that I have to play them. A new Monkey Island game. Ooh, that's a good one. Cory Barlog game at Summer Game Fest. I don't think it's at Summer Game Fest, but I do think we'll see it. Hopefully at the Game Awards. Yeah, no, I've heard. I know they're long games. Crimson Desert release date. Okay. So I really hope it's not September. I'm going to say November. Sometime in November, because I just really hope it's not September. So yeah. You can play any Tales game. Yeah. Oh, okay. They're not in order? Tales aren't connected. Trails are, right? Nerdy Giant. You can correct me. Let me know. Tales of Arise. I own like 4 Tales games physically. Okay, so I actually have, I'm building the collection, but I've never played them. I have a bunch. I think I would get the fighting game on day one as well. How do you release stress? By playing games. Probably, and I listen to music. And I listen to another thing on YouTube that we don't have to talk about. But I think gaming. I think gaming release. I'm not also. I don't know. I did like I've said before. I really think the martial arts of my youth. The one thing I very much kept is a lot of like the mental lessons that you learn. It's not just physical. Like I think I could take someone in a fight and defend myself and all that jazz. But that stuff, I've gotten further and further away from. I'd like to go back, but I really think it's the mental stuff of martial arts that's really helped me as I've gotten older. I've never been too like uptight, at least for too long. Like I let it go very easily. Oh, Sly's cane tattooed on my arm. See, that's a good one. My wife always says, when are you going to get a tattoo? And I say never. A Sly tattoo would be pretty sweet. My first PS2 game was Sly 3. Did you have the 3D goggles? Because I did, and I lost them. And they were so cool. So cool playing that. I want a remake of Star Ocean Till the End of Time. We have that game, don't we? We have Star Ocean Till the End of Time on original. I guess it's my wife's, but it's also mine, I can say. I did do a video on this is not on you. Okay, this is what happens with YouTube and just not sending people things. Just go on the channel, buddy. Do prod. Go on the channel and just scroll. I have a whole video, 7-ish minutes long. I go over the whole thing. So I've done The Witcher 4. What else did somebody ask me earlier? Oh, I did Spy. I did a video on this channel on Spyro, on The Witcher, and then yesterday, if you didn't watch those videos, I did Bond, a video on Bond. I did a video on Silent Hill, and I did a video on Pragmata, all on this channel. So YouTube just doesn't send people anything, but yeah, I did that. If it's something pretty big, most times I do it. Like I'd say 8 out of 10. If you see a gaming thing that you think in your head realistically, you think, that's a really big deal. Chances are like 80% chance I've done a video on it. Or I will do a video on it, Trails are connected. Tails aren't connected. Ugh, that's difficult to remember. Are connected. Trails. I don't know. Trails are connected, right? Because that's and tails are not. Tails are like individual. Tails are like Final Fantasy. Okay. I like Final Fantasy. Certain Tails games do have their sequels. Dang it. Now meaning in the present, and then podcast because I did just podcast when I started. That's literally how now because I wanted everything to kind of be live is when I started, I would live stream the podcasts. It was called Podcast Now Live. And that was the name I came up with. And then, and yeah, so that was it. Now, because I wanted to do it now. And also that, like I literally wanted to make the channel now. And then podcast because I thought I'd be doing a lot of podcasts. Turns out my style is generally a podcast type style. So it's actually worked out quite well. As a YouTuber yourself, what do you think about the RPMs and the paying systems on YouTube? And what would you do different if you started a new channel? So like paying for I would never suggest paying to promote your own video. There's been a lot of studies and a lot of people have tried it, and I just don't think it's worth. I don't think you're going to make that money back if you put like $20 to like promote a video. If you mean in terms of like the click rate on it, so gaming is the worst one out of any major category. So like movies, sports, entertainment, like knowledge, like teaching somebody something. Gaming is the lowest. So you literally get less views on a click than any other type of video on YouTube, period. So trying maybe not to do YouTube, try not to do a gaming YouTube. And then what would I do differently if I started a new channel? Well, I have Back to the Past, which is a new channel. I would just do one thing. That'd be my niche it down so much that you do one thing. I know that's very boring. I personally can't do that. So I try to pick things. Yeah, Back to the Past, my third channel, is a retrospective channel. So I just do old things, which is one thing, kind of, King Kong, I remember playing King Kong. I don't think I had it, but I do think I rented it. Do people make lots of money on YouTube? Certain people, not me, but certain people. Only Tales games that are connected technically are Symphonia games and Exilia games plus Zestiria and I have, I think, 2 of those. 2 of those games, pretty sure, are back behind this green screen there. Ah. First game I ever played was Crash Bash. I know that immediately. Yeah. Commander Keen 4. Wow. Yeah, mine was Crash Bash. My dad brought it home. No idea why. I was like 5, maybe 4. Played it. I had to have been at least 4 because I think it came out in 2000 and I'm 96. So, yeah. So, people know. But yeah, Crash Bash was the first game I ever played. Love it. I heard people with 1 million subscribers make millions each year. No, I actually don't think that's true. There's a lot of people that make millions of subscribers that don't do nearly as well in the videos. Kind of people that have lost it or like trailed off, 3 glasses. I think I had 2. Fighting Souls looks so good. Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball, I was very excited. Post more shorts and grow your reach. Well, thank you. I do. I try to post shorts, and you know what? The shorts have done well. That is maybe that's advice to that guy above you. Yeah, no, shorts are a good idea, and I try to do that for this channel and Back to the Past to grow and it's working. I do think it's getting me more views. To copy and paste all the hot springs. I actually kind of like the hot springs, but I can get that. Do you think RE9 will be showcased? Yes, I think tomorrow. Oh, I mean, I love. Just give me another LA Noir. I don't really care honestly when. Don't care at all. Just something in that feel. Well, I think the goal is that she's gonna be a good character, or you want her to be a good character, right? So I'm okay with her being an Astro. Well, I don't think it's confirmed RE9 is gonna be there, but it's something that I think is likely. Yeah, the King Kong Peter Jackson is actually, I think, a legitimately good game. My first game was Breath of the Wild. Nice. That is a lot later in years. That was a 2017 game. Mine was a 2000 game. 96 too. There you go. I didn't play a lot of game in 90. A lot of people in 96. This is the age demographic. Yeah, like Crash Bash, Crash Team. Like it literally was Crash Bash and then Crash Team Racing. Like those are my earliest. Crash Bash, though, I legitimately believe was the first one. I mean, I played Rugrats, Power Rangers, Time Force, Power Rangers something, and I had it physically. Those are like the earliest memories. And then like once I got 8, 9, 10, I got the Xbox. So I did like Tak and the Power of Juju, and I had a Game Boy. So a lot of those early 2000 Pokemon games. But yeah, I mean that's how it started. And I got Xbox, got the Halos, got Star Wars Episode 3, couple others, and then got the Wii, Sim City, Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, perfect games. I don't think there's many games better than those. In general, I'm not saying even just Mario games. And then, then the PS3, and that's really where it started. So that's my life. Snowboard kids on the N64. Wow. Oh my God. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, some people make millions on YouTube. An RE9 demo would be freaking awesome. Pragmata Resurrection, RE9. Yeah, Capcom's on a roll. No, I'm more like not worried. I'm more like curious of what they do with Silence in Horizon 3. I haven't put too much thought into Nemesis though. I'm really excited. I'm excited to get back into Horizon through something, whether it's Horizon 3 or going back to play 1 and 2. Like I'm pretty excited. But that's a good I've never really put much thought into it, to be honest with you. Soul Blade on PS1. Sly aside, if you could revive one franchise, what would you choose? If I only had one, I think I'd have to do Infamous. I think Infamous has so much potential because I love Resistance. I love what was another one I was thinking of? Like I would really want PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2, almost more than anything. But if I really think about, like I want a Pirates of the Caribbean type thing or a Scream thing I've talked about before. But if we're talking about reviving a franchise, then yeah, I think Infamous is long overdue. It never deserved to go away. It's got unlimited potential. Yeah, or Prototype. Like one of those, I think Infamous, Prototype, Sly being number one. I always want Crash games. Like I could take a Crash game every year. As I just said, my first 2 games were Crash. So I love that franchise almost more than any other. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I would pick there. Demo of Silent Hill F. I'd love a demo of Silent Hill F. It can be gaming. What's your favorite conspiracy theory? Well, I'd like to believe that like Abandon actually had something to do with Hideo Kojima, like that whole arc that was going on with Abandon. Gaming conspiracy theory. I don't know. I think other than that, I was so into that. I was so into Abandon at the time. Spine will be a huh? I don't think that I don't know much about that. Spine PS5 will be yeah, Spine is at Summer Game Fest tomorrow. That's confirmed by them. Time Crisis revival. That'd be cool. If Venom and Wolverine had character trailers for fighting. So yeah, I mean the potential is large. Prototype has a real chance this week. I think who was it? Jez Corden and somebody else. That Xbox podcast, I'm pretty sure they said it's not going to happen, which is heartbreaking. But I mean, I really hope that it happens. I did hear about Captain Blood. Yep. I saw Maddie did a video on it on Retro Rebound. Yep. It's definitely old, mid 2000s style. Yeah, I might check it out. But I have heard of that. That's a deep cut. And look, I have heard of it. See, I'm well versed. All right. We definitely went long enough. I appreciate this was a lot of fun, guys. Tomorrow we'll be live again. This was, by the way, a good test. The internet held up really, really well. So let's pray and cross our fingers and things that tomorrow works. So tomorrow I'll be live an hour before Summer Game Fest. We'll watch it. And then Sunday, I'll be live for the Xbox event. Okay. I'm going to do a predictions video for Summer Game Fest today. Tomorrow, we'll literally just be covering everything that's at Summer Game Fest, every single video. And then we'll do an Xbox prediction video. And then we'll go from there. Okay. Next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be, I think, really loaded. And then it dies down. Then it's about new games, Death Stranding, Rematch, Mario Kart. I'll be playing that. So, yeah. The Game Awards or E3? I mean, I think E3 at its peak was unlike anything ever. So I think E3. All right. Kingdom Hearts 4 tomorrow is going to be crazy. RE9. RE9, I think, is definitely tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys for being here. And I'll see you all, I guess, tomorrow. I'll see you in literally 24 hours. Okay. See you then.